One secret changes everything. Just when Ruby and James think the worst is over, a truth comes out that could rewrite their future forever. Love, power, betrayal, and a life growing in silence. Maxton Hall is not done with them yet. The story does not begin with peace. It begins with consequences. After the chaos of season 2, Ruby's name is still stained, her future still hanging by a thread. Being expelled was not just a punishment, it was a warning. A message from people who believe power can erase truth. Ruby tries to stay strong, but every door that closes reminds her that Maxton Hall never forgets. James stands beside her, quieter than before, watching the weight crush the person he loves. He knows this is his fault as much as it is his father's. And this time, he is done staying silent. Mortimer believes he has won. The photo did exactly what it was meant to do: destroy reputations and relationships and protect his image. But what Mortimer does not expect is resistance from his own son. James is no longer the boy who obeys. He knows the photo is real, but the story behind it is not. And the truth, once spoken, can be more dangerous than any lie. When James decides to take responsibility and speak publicly, he does not just challenge Maxton Hall, he challenges his father's empire. As James prepares to step forward, Ruby faces a different battle. Away from the school, away from the noise, she begins to feel that something is not right. At first, she ignores it. Stress, fear, exhaustion, everything feels like too much. But deep down, Ruby senses that her body is trying to tell her something important, something life-changing. And the timing could not be worse. Because if this secret is real, it will tie her to James forever, whether the world approves or not. Meanwhile, cracks begin to form inside Mortimer's perfect world. He notices James pulling away, refusing calls, asking questions he was never supposed to ask. The past starts to knock. Cordelia's name returns like a ghost, and with it, rumors of a will that was never meant to be found. Percy's strange behavior no longer feels random. Every move Mortimer made to secure his power now feels rushed, desperate, and afraid. Because men like Mortimer do not fear justice, they fear exposure. When James finally confronts Mortimer, it is not loud. It is cold, honest. James makes it clear that he'll tell the truth about the photo, about Ruby, and about everything his father tried to bury. Mortimer responds the only way he knows how, with threats, with control, with an ultimatum that forces James to choose between family and freedom. And for the first time, James chooses himself. As the twins prepare to leave the house, Maxton Hall begins to shift. Allies emerge in unexpected places. Enemies reveal their true faces. And Ruby, standing at the edge of a future she never planned, realizes that her life may no longer be hers alone. One test, one confirmation, one truth that could turn love into scandal and hope into war. Because if Ruby is carrying James's child, then season 3 is not just about revenge or justice. It is about legacy. And Maxton Hall is about to learn that some secrets are powerful enough to bring even the strongest empires to their knees. The truth does not arrive gently. It hits Ruby all at once, in silence, in fear, and in disbelief. When the confirmation finally comes, her hands shake, not from weakness, but from the weight of what it means. A baby. A future growing inside her while the world outside is still trying to tear her apart. Ruby does not cry. She sits still, staring ahead, realizing that her life has crossed a line it can never return from. No matter what happens next, nothing will ever be simple again. Telling James is harder than any confrontation with Maxton Hall. When she finally does, his reaction is not shock. It is fear mixed with wonder. For a moment, all the anger, all the fights, all the chaos disappear. James understands something very clearly now. This is no longer just about love. This is about responsibility, about protecting Ruby, about becoming someone his father never was. And in that moment, James silently promises that their child will never grow up in fear. But secrets do not stay hidden for long in a world built on surveillance and control. Mortimer senses that something has changed. James is calmer, stronger, untouchable in a way he has never been before. That scares him more than rebellion ever could. When Mortimer digs deeper, through phones, messages, whispers, he begins to suspect the impossible. And the idea of Ruby carrying his grandchild does not soften him. It enrages him, because a child means leverage. And Mortimer never misses an opportunity to control. At the same time, the search for Cordelia's real will intensifies. Oilia refuses to believe the version Mortimer presented. The twins, now out of the house, finally see how much was hidden from them. Percy becomes the key to everything. His past connection to Cordelia is no longer subtle. The way he protects her memory, the way he guards that mysterious key, it all points to a truth that could shatter Mortimer's authority completely. And when the box is finally found, locked away for years, everyone understands why Cordelia never trusted Mortimer with her legacy. The contents of the will are devastating. Cordelia did not give everything to Mortimer. She divided her power carefully, protecting the twins, Oilia, and the future of the company from the very man who now controls it. Forged signatures, false documents, years of lies. Suddenly, Mortimer is no longer untouchable. He is exposed. And when legal pressure begins to close in, his behavior turns dangerous. Mortimer lashes out at Lydia next. Her pregnancy, once hidden, becomes another weapon in his hands. He calls it shame, a mistake, a threat to the family name. When Lydia refuses to bend, Mortimer does what he has always done. He throws her out. But this time, she is not alone. James stands between them, and this confrontation is louder, uglier, and more final than any before it. Words are said that cannot be taken back. Truths are revealed that explain years of cruelty. And when James walks away with Lydia, it feels like a door slamming shut on Mortimer's control forever. Yet peace does not come easily. Graham's situation still casts a shadow. Even if he is freed, the law does not forgive. Lydia knows that love will always come with consequences, but she is ready to wait, ready to fight, ready to build a future that does not need permission. As pressure mounts from all sides, legal battles, public scandal, family collapse, Ruby begins to feel the cost of carrying hope in a broken world. Fear creeps in. What if the baby becomes another target? What if love is not enough? And as Maxton Hall prepares for its biggest reckoning yet, one truth becomes clear. This child is no longer just a secret. It is a spark, and sparks have a way of starting fires no one can control. The war reaches its final stage when Mortimer finally loses control of the one thing he values more than power, his image. The truth about Cordelia's will comes out, not quietly, but publicly. Lawyers, board members, and shareholders turn against him one by one. Every forged document, every lie, every manipulation begins to surface. Mortimer fights back, as expected, but this time his words carry no weight. The empire he built on fear starts to collapse under the pressure of truth. James watches it all unfold with mixed emotions. Victory does not feel sweet when it comes at the cost of a family that was already broken. Still, he does not look away. For the sake of Ruby, for Lydia, and for the child on the way, he stays strong. He officially steps away from the company, handing his shares to Lydia, choosing freedom over inheritance. For the first time, his future is his own. Ruby's return to education becomes quiet, dignified, and earned. Not Maxton Hall, but something greater. Oxford opens its doors, not because of connections, but because of merit. Away from the cruelty of elite walls, Ruby finally breathes. She studies, grows, and rebuilds her confidence piece by piece. Motherhood does not stop her dreams, it sharpens them. She learns what strength truly means. Mortimer's downfall does not end with the company. Evidence ties him directly to Cordelia's death, neglect, pressure, manipulation. The man who controlled everything now stands alone, facing consequences he can no longer escape. Prison is not shown as revenge, but as inevitability, a chapter closing on a legacy built on cruelty. Lydia and Graham's future remains complicated, but hopeful. Once Lydia turns 18, there is no hesitation, no fear. They choose each other openly. Their marriage is not loud or dramatic, it is healing. Their twins become symbols of survival rather than scandal. Love, once treated as a crime, becomes their quiet victory. James and Ruby's story reaches its softest, strongest moment. Years later, after university, after healing, after growth, they stand together not as survivors, but as partners. Their wedding is simple, filled with people who chose love over power. And when their child is finally born, it does not feel like an ending. It feels like a beginning. The final image is not luxury or wealth. It is a family table, laughter, children running, old wounds turned into lessons. Maxton Hall fades into memory, no longer a place of pain, but a chapter that shaped who they became. Because in the end, power did not win. Truth did, and love stayed.